I don't know if it's on
You can
my.
hear. You ready?
Yeah. I
All
don't
right.
know. I was about to
We
say I don't know if
always
it's
having
on.
financial not financial, technical difficulties every time I start off. So, all right. So, welcome to TransformU in 2022. I am excited for the second part of this series. This series is the financial part of the series. I am super excited about that because I wanted to talk to this young lady because we had such an awesome off camera talk. So I thought that she would make a perfect guest this week. I'm doing the 3-part series because I wanted to get live in front of those of you all who are not able to pay for coaching, those of you all who do not follow me everywhere on social media. But I know that I needed to get out the word that, in order to transform you, in order for you to heal, grow, and transform, you needed to change mentally. We need to change financially, and we definitely need to change spiritually. And so I wanted to grab some experts besides myself in these topics, and I thought this would be a great way to get myself out there to you all who don't get to see me all the time. So I'm gonna let Miss TJ introduce herself. Let them know what you do, who you are, who you serve, and then we'll get right into the conversation.
Thank you so much, Miss Olivia. I am super excited to be here, and I'm thankful that you chose me to be able to actually come talk to your audience. So,
Mm-hmm.
like Miss Olivia said, my name is TJ. I have been in the financial services industry for about a little bit over a year. It made a year on February 1st for me. When I came into this business, I knew nothing about finances. As a 22, I was 22 at the time. I'm 23 now, actually about to be 24 next week. So,
Oh,
like I said, I knew nothing about finances. I knew nothing about dealing with people's money. It was like a foreign language to me.
yeah.
So when I came into the business, my leaders, they taught me everything that I needed to know, and now I'm on a roll. Like, I got it down pat. So I'm just taking everything that I know, and I'm just using it to apply it to my community, apply it for us, because this is information that we all need to know.
Exactly. And this is why I wanted to invite you on, as I know that they're probably saying, well, she doesn't really know about anything about finances. It's only been a year for her. I know that you all were expecting an expert financial advisor, but the reason why I picked you, because you were a younger woman. And there are so many younger women and men out there who don't know anything about their finances, who will totally screw up their finances by the time they get my age. Okay. Remember, this is a cultural thing where you're not taught finances, from, when you're growing up. I was not taught how to deal with finances. I didn't know anything about finances. Okay. I knew how to get into debt, but nobody taught me how to get out.
Right.
Okay. And I like the fact that when we were talking behind the scenes, like I said, you were so enthusiastic about finances. I've never met anybody so young, that was so enthusiastic about the finances. And one of the leading causes of people who suffer from mental health issues, depression, anxiety, it is finances. Okay.
Right.
And lack thereof, the being in debt, you can't afford to send your kids to school, afford to buy cars, you can't afford to fund your businesses, your dreams, so many people get depressed, they get sad, and you can't, and this is something that we needed to start working on. I know
Right.
a lot of us are older and we're just coming to the light, like, okay, this is what we need to do with our finances. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let social media tell you that you should have been known about your finances, because they're lying to you, because they didn't know about their
Exactly.
finances a
They
long
didn't know until the next person
time ago. Okay.
told them.
Exactly. They
Exactly.
just learned it just like how we all are learning it. So this, and we were all seen talking off behind the scenes talking about this a couple of weeks ago. And this is why I wanted to bring you on, because let's talk about financial literacy. What made you decide at a young age that I am going to learn about getting Because I think you were telling us the conversation about your aunties and trying to get them to get life insurance. That is something that is a stickler in the African American community. Grandmama got the insurance. Okay, that the hierarchy got the insurance. Okay, and it's kind of like dropped off when all of us started coming along because nobody taught us about insurance. So tell me what made you decide, hey, I'm 20 something years old, I have a kid, I want to learn about this because this wasn't taught to me. Tell me what made you get into this. What made you say I need to do this?
Well, okay, so let's just go back a year ago when I got started with the company that I work with now. So I was actually working at a warehouse prior to me dealing with the financial services. And I was working 60 hours a week. I was miserable. Like, I hated it because I was making like $1,000 a week, which people would think is good money, of course. But I'm the life of the party. I wanted to be out with my friends. I wanted to be having fun. I can't do this. I'm at work on my break on Snapchat, and I'm looking on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, and I'm looking at everybody's snaps and everybody out having fun, and I'm at work. Yeah. I was so tired of it. So they winded up firing me like the second week in January. Normally, Miss Olivia, when people get fired, they be upset. Where my next check gonna come from? Yada, yada, yada. Not me. I was out of there. Listen, y'all could have called and told me this before I wasted my gas and came down here, okay? So I had seen the opportunity. I followed up with it, seen what was going on. And when I had my interview, everything was just sounding so good. But what really got to me was that I could make so much extra money part-time. So I didn't have to be on nobody's schedule. It was my own schedule I could set for myself, and I could do it from home or wherever I can take my phone or my tablet or my laptop. So as long as I could get on the internet, I could make money. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna see where it takes me. So just being there in the process, like I said, I knew nothing about finances. So in the process of me growing my financial services business is how I learned everything. So stuff just started clicking. Yeah. It just started clicking like, oh, snap. Like, this is what the wealthy people are doing, and they're keeping this away from us. So us as middle income people, we can stay in our tax bracket. They don't want us to be wealthy with them. They want us to stay in the middle so we can pay. Like, the craziest thing I ever heard last night, actually, I was on a webinar. When us as middle income workers, we go to work, we get taxed. We get taxed on our money before it comes to us. Yeah. And then we also get taxed when if we got to pay bills in the house, that's utility tax. If we have to go get gas in our car, that's fuel tax. It's taxed on everything. Yeah. So we're getting taxed before we get the money, and we're getting taxed afterwards. Where are the taxes going? The taxes are going to the wealthy, and also they're going to the poor. Yeah. We're middle income, so we're paying for everybody. We're the biggest class. Yeah. Yeah. So paying for everybody, like, no, listen, that's not it. So it's just so much stuff that I continuously learn here that just gets me more and more intrigued. Yeah. And as long as you just focus, stay dedicated on what you're doing, and not be, I'm gonna just keep it real. Yeah. We as a people, we can be very ignorant when it comes to this information. And that's what we got to get a grip of. Like, okay, yes, it's gonna hurt. It might hurt your feelings. It might make you feel some type of way, but this is what's really going on. Exactly. Just like, for a perfect example, like, and I might step on some people's toes here.
Girl, look, I'm Olivia. I'm Lady O. I step on toes all day. Okay.
So, all right. So everybody put your toes up because I'm about to step on them.
They can delete me. They can delete it.
Right. So
in order to heal people, this is what I'm talking about. You will have to face some truths. There are going to be some times when you don't want to hear what you have to hear. But in order for you to heal, you're going to have to hear, okay, maybe I did my finances wrong. Maybe I had such low information that I didn't do what I needed to do. So no, this is step on your toes. It's for you to acknowledge. This is why I brought this here, because I want you to start looking and saying, hey, what am I doing wrong with my finances? What was I not taught? And how am I not teaching my children? Because you don't know right now that the things that you were learning, you didn't learn it. So how are you teaching your kids? So it's not stepping on your toes. It's just informing you so that you can go behind the scenes and say, hey, let me take a look at me. That is healing. That is the first step in healing, is taking responsibility. So don't apologize for that. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So one thing I remember when I was little is I always remembered the life insurance man coming to my grandma's house. Yep. All the time. Every month he was coming because he getting his premium. He getting his money. Right. So I don't know how many, still to this day, I don't know how many policies my grandma has. I don't know what the value of them are. I honestly can't tell you the company that she got them with. But I know for a fact it's whole life insurance. So us as Black people, what I have noticed, we think whole life insurance is just the best thing since sliced bread.
They don't know any better. We don't know any better.
We don't know any better. Exactly.
Until I started getting insurance for myself as an adult. I didn't know that either. And I still didn't learn it. You know, we never, that's one of the things that we do not talk about in the Black community. Right. You know, we don't talk about financial literacy. So we don't talk about, all we hear is, you better get an insurance policy. They didn't tell you which kind, which one was the best, because they did not know. You know, and that man who came to my grandmama's door too didn't particularly sit down. He just let her know, you need an insurance policy in case you die. That's all you know. You what was the best insurance policy, how long it was going to take to do this insurance policy. But this is all I knew, that you need to have an insurance policy in case you die. That was it. And we didn't know about drawing on life insurances. You know, and it was like the Caucasian community. I've ran into people who, you know, who will say, well, you know, well, if something breaks in the house, well, they're drawing on life insurance policies. And I didn't know anything about that. And also, as a woman, I was an entrepreneur, and I would hear these different things. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? You know, I was ashamed, and I didn't pretend, you know, in front of them at the time. I didn't act like I knew, you know. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, well, that's good. At least you have the money there, you know, playing it off. But then I would go home and be like, well, what do they mean by that? You know, so yes, I totally understand what you said. They don't know the difference because we were not taught the difference.
Right. And then I'm so glad you said something about drawing from the life insurance policy, because that's another thing. Yep. We also think is the best thing for us to do, which it is not. Yep. When you draw from your life insurance policy, let's say you have a whole life policy and you decide, hey, I need money to pay for this. I need $10,000 to pay for this. So I'm going to just draw it out of my life insurance policy. Well, you draw that money out, but every day that you have not paid that money back, that money is interest on it. Yeah. So now you have to pay this money back to the life insurance company, plus the interest, plus your premiums. Yeah. So if anything catches up, guess what? They cancel your policy. Yeah. Oh. So people think it's best for them to draw from it, but really it's not. The best thing to do is have your insurance as your insurance and have your savings as your savings. Don't mix the two. The reason being, just because of that. You got your savings and your insurance policy, and you pulling from it, but they taxing you on it. They got interest on it. So that ever catches up, you now have no more life insurance. And the company don't have to keep your policy. It's because now you're in debt with your life insurance company. Oh. But they don't tell us stuff like that. They don't want us to know stuff like that.
Thing about, you know, with financial literacy as well, we're inclined not to pay on a life insurance policy because we refuse to pay that $200 for $1 million life policy or $750,000. We're not going to pay that $257. We'll clobber it You know what I'm saying? You're going to Klarna something. You'll go, what's the other one? Afterpay something. But you will not pay for an insurance policy. And then we're walking around and we're seeing people, and this is why we see so many GoFundMes. Okay?
Right.
That is not an insurance policy, people. Okay, GoFundMes are not an insurance policy, and that's not any insult to anybody. But then again, you know what? I'm sorry. You knew you needed to pay for an insurance policy.
Exactly.
Okay? Insurance is something that we need to have, and that's the number one cause of depression and anxiety. Is we have no financial literacy. Okay. We don't know we didn't know anything about saving money. We didn't know anything about making your money work for you. We're so mad at rich people. We're so mad at, I'm not even going to say President Trump. We're so mad at him, but dude, he ain't really a con artist. He's been using other people's money since he probably was 5.
Right.
Doing this a long time because he was rich. He was never self-made, so he could stop that. But when he got his daddy's money, he was using others. You always heard OPP. You always heard that from rich people, but you think in the song, because
right.
us who know what that meant. But we never knew that you were supposed to make your money work for you. We didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So when you decide to say, at the last minute, like, okay, now I'm here to get myself together. It's okay because you've been in debt. I'm learning this now. I mean, I'm 45 years old and I am learning all of the things that you are talking about now. I'm learning those things now. Me and my husband are doing investments now. These are things that I'm saying, that I wish I had known 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because at the age of 10, because I would have not been in the financial debt that I've been in. Because I think we think debt, when we think about debt, we think about not paying your bills and putting something in somebody else's name and continuing to go on about your business.
Right.
That's what we think about when it comes to financial debt. We don't see it, it doesn't exist anymore, but it does.
Right.
Okay, it does. And what people don't realize it, so now we got the credit, the credit scams, and we got the people, everybody who's fixing credit. And I'm totally behind you fixing your credit because we all need that, because nobody told us that having an 800 credit score was going to take you farther in this world than having cash.
Exactly.
Nobody tells you that. People think you are cash, you got cash, but you are poor technically because you have bad credit.
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how much money you may have in the bank, you are still financially poor.
Right.
Because if that money was gone today, tomorrow, and the stock market, blew up the banks and you had no more money, you have no credit. So since nobody taught you about financial literacy, try saying that a lot of times. What made you, the aha moment came in once you decide, because I know that you're an entrepreneur as well. What made you say, you know what? I know all things about finances right now. This is how. Now, do you find it hard when you're trying to talk to your peers about financial literacy?
Yes. It is very hard to talk to. Well, I can say it was. I can say it like that now. It was because what I realized I had to do was, now that my mind is in a completely different place, I don't have time to be going out here and risking my life for this, that, and the third, to do this, that, and the third, just so we can have fun. I can have safe fun. I can have safe fun and make money at the same time.
Right.
So when it came to my peers, since I've started this business, I have lost friends. I have had people just like, oh, she acting different, she doing this, she doing that. No, I'm using my mind and I'm using the knowledge that I know to apply it to my everyday life, not just for my business. And because sometimes
Instagram ain't gonna pay you. Instagram pay people, but they might not pay you.
You know, right? Exactly.
You can't be an Instagram influencer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to be financially, smart as a 25-year-old. And he said that you'll be 5 next month.
24 next week. Yes, ma'am.
Next week. My son will be 26 at the end of the month. And so you need to know this. He needs to know this. So instead of hanging out with your friends, the ones that you lost. Again, when you start to heal people, when you start to grow, when you start transforming into who you're created to be, who God created you to be, you are going to lose people. Okay.
Right.
You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with saying, well, you know what? Maybe Chantel wasn't the person I needed to hang around with anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because she's on a different level. And remember, you all are still in your 20s. So partying, doing things for the gram. And I don't know if y'all use Facebook, so y'all using like Snapchats and all that stuff. But this is the stuff that they're still thinking about. And guess what they're gonna be? They're gonna be 40-year-old me's. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be 45-year-old other people who had no sense of financial literacy, and they had one good one in the bunch that tried to teach them. And I know that it can be hard trying to be singled out, but how does that make you feel that, hey, I'm getting myself together. It is okay if I'm not hanging out. It is because remember, you said you no longer wanted to work for anybody else. So you made a change.
Right.
Okay, you decided to do something. Especially, like I said, I am so excited that you've done this at a young age. Okay, I wish I was this person, when I was 24 years old. I was 24 years old with a baby, a 5-year-old at the time. I think he was about 5. I knew nothing. I had just started the business, but I knew nothing else. I didn't know anything about having different savings, rainy day funds. I knew nothing else. And what we have to realize, people and parents, just because we tell you that you didn't teach us anything about financial literacy or you didn't teach us anything, we're not faulting you because you didn't know.
Right.
But this is why it's so important to just sit back and listen and say, okay, well, I'm glad you're learning now. Like me, my son decided to buy a vending machine for my grandbaby. Okay, so I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I remember you telling me about that.
Say they creating generational wealth because they're doing something like that's some scam stuff that most of the people are doing. So how do you take that? When do they come to you and say, you know what, this is a scam. You always want to talk to us about your company, and explain to people what your company does. But do you get that it's a scam, girl? Because every time, especially in the African American community, Lord, they think everything is a scam.
Yes,
never ever prosper like we should because we think everything is a scam. And I had same thing with life coaching. You do have to invest in order for you to be a great life coach, but you have to invest everywhere. It's just not in the coaching business. You're going to have to invest. My son is going to eventually have to probably buy 2 or 3 more vending machines just to put them in different places. So when people come to you and say it's a scam, how do you react to that? And then what do you explain to them? Like you're going to explain to my audience what your company does and how they can, to be a part of your company without thinking it's a scam,
Okay, so I have came across a lot of people. I still come across people who's like, oh, it's a scam. That's not real. It's a pyramid, all kind of stuff. And first things first. Well, when you go to work, a pyramid, what people say 9 times out of 10 when you ask them, oh, what's a pyramid? They say, oh, the person at the top is the one who makes all the money. Well, when you go clock into your 9 to 5,
yes,
you have a set rate of $15, $16 an hour. Yep. And the CEO of that company makes all the money. Right. Now, at a 9 to 5, how often is it that you're going to get promoted? Is it a promise you're going to get promoted? Is it a promise that you're going to be the manager? Are you going to be the CEO of the company one day? Nope. That's never going to happen in a 9 to 5. Nope. It's not about how hard you work, right, how much dedication you put in. It's really about who you know in that company. Exactly. So that's a pyramid. Really, when people come to me and ask me, oh, it's a pyramid, that's a pyramid. No, baby, your job is a pyramid. That's the real pyramid. Okay?
I never thought of see how, look, people, y'all can learn things from younger people. I never even thought about it like that. I've been an entrepreneur forever, so I really never worked for people. So I don't really, I never had to clock in like that. That is a good thing. A job is a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
And you know what I read one time? And this was a couple of months ago about Amazon workers.
Mm-hmm.
It is their intention for you not to go higher in Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I read that and I was real shocked about that because I'm like, people start at Amazon, but what do you really do after you are the person that's putting things in boxes? Is there a chance for you to get to Jeff Zuckerberg's? I think is that the one that's running it?
Yeah, I think Jeff Bezos.
Bezos. I got him and the other boy from Facebook mixed up. But is there a chance in Amazon that you're going to go up higher? You might become a plant manager, but are you going to actually be able to walk up one day and say, well, let me get ready because I'm here to start sitting at the board? And right. I read where Amazon is literally, that's how he planned it. That is a pyramid scheme. He planned it that way. He sat at the head of that table and he sat and talked to everybody that was on that long hall table that they sit at, investors and, all of the money management people. I had one somebody made a comment. She said they will pay you to quit so that they don't have to increase your pay. That's a pyramid scheme. That's exactly what they're doing. So
they call it the buyout. They will buy you out for Okay, so I worked at Amazon a couple years ago. I think I was like 17. Okay. So when they first came up with the buyout option, as long as you work there, I want to say for 2 years, they would pay you $2,000 if you quit, but you can never come back again. Okay. But yeah, that's how the buyout works. But it's not even just Amazon. It is everywhere. Yeah. Every company. Everywhere. That's what the CEOs do. They sit there at that big long call table and they say, hey, listen, this is what the employees, this is how much they're going to get paid at this position. They're never going to be able to move up. You're the manager. You're the vice president. You're the president. I'm the CEO. And that's that.
Yeah, and that's the pyramid scheme, guys.
Exactly.
That's the pyramid scheme. We are so afraid to take risks. We'll risk going to Walmart to get COVID, but we will not risk investing our money in a company that, of course, and yes, there are companies that are pyramid schemes. Another one, since you said that, what was a scam? Susu or Shushu or whatever that stupid invest your money, putting $500 in and you get $500 back or $600 back. Remember that was going around like last
year? And that's illegal. That's a pyramid, and that is illegal.
Said that they were creating generational wealth with that, and there were tons of people that came to me and said, "You and your husband want to invest?" Hell no.
Exactly, because if the next person stops paying in, am I guaranteed my money?
No, you would never guarantee.
I need people to keep paying into it.
And they had, and every person that I met had this same script. Okay, and they would try to get you in because it's doctors and lawyers in this. No. But see, guess what? As in the African American community, that sounds safe to us. Okay. Even though those African real life princes, those African people in Nigeria were the ones who started this thing, who literally passed that down to each and every one of you all, was making all the money. And the person who was coming up with it was that was a scam. Right. So we tend to think that the businesses that you work for will be scams too. And we never invest. So you tell them what your business does, how your business helps people understand financial literacy.
Okay, so what my business does is we help families create and also maintain generational wealth. And that's by life insurance, investments, any way that you could possibly think of finances. That is what we help people with. We use a certain concept that we teach people, we instill into our clients, we instill into our licensed agents like myself. This is what we do to help families. Mainly, our main basis is life insurance. We have to understand how to use the correct type of life insurance to create that generational wealth for our families. How much we should be paying, when we need it. The best time to get life insurance, people love to wait until they almost on their deathbed to get life insurance. Like, what? Like, if you cannot call me and say, hey, my auntie got cancer, she need to get a life insurance policy. I can't do nothing for Auntie. I'm sorry. I love y'all, but I can't do nothing for her.
You can't.
Even if I wanted to put the application in, it's going to get declined.
Yeah.
Because life insurance is based off of your lifestyle, your age, your occupation, how healthy you are. Right. Me being young at 23 years old, healthy as a horse, with nothing in my background, I can get as much coverage as I want for this amount of money.
That's right.
Because that's the goal. That's right. Get it while you're young, while you're healthy, while you have nothing in your background. Stay clean, cope, and steady. Protect your youth. Even if you, like myself, I don't have any kids. I have a nephew who's like mine, but I don't have any kids myself. So while I'm young, I'm protecting my health. I have my life insurance coverage now. So when I get older, that's right, God forbid I get cancer or something like that, I don't have to worry about going to look and see if I can get life insurance now. I have $1 million worth of coverage already. That's right. So now I don't have to worry about going to get a $40,000 whole life policy and I'm paying $600 a month. Just throwing out numbers, but I'm paying $600 a month because I'm such a big high risk. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait until your mom is 80 years old and she has cancer to get life insurance, because nobody is going to insure her. Yeah. If anybody does insure her, they're going to find some kind of way to not pay that policy.
When it comes time when she's deceased. Right. And people don't realize that. And again, to our younger generation, to you all, this is for you. You know, this is why I didn't want to get an experienced, financial advisor to teach you how to say. No, I wanted you because we need our 20-something-year-olds to start that. I have a 25-year-old kid who has a 4-year-old son, and I'm often on him. Son, please, sometimes he'll have the packages come to the house, and it's a Yeezy this and a Yeezy that. And I'm like, you know what? The money you spend on Yeezys, because that's what are they, like $600, $700, $800?
Listen, like, I don't even know. I can't tell you.
Well, trust me, they are. And he'll have them come to the house, and I'll say, son, and I'm trying not to be the nagging mom, but I'll say, son, that's a plane ticket to go see your son. That's also money. When you get that urge to go get that Yeezy product, take that money and put it in the bank. Okay? Right. How many Yeezys can you have anyway? I think he has several kinds and whatever. But it's so, because I used to be a shopaholic, so I know where all. I'm like the lady that was on Sex and the City, and she said that she saw where all her money went. That's who I used to be, because I did. I mean, I used to have toting $300-$400 pocketbooks with $28 in it. You know what I'm saying? No financial literacy. I was your age toting these expensive bags with $28 and no gas in my car. Right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything because nobody told me that financial literacy would take you longer in life than a job. That financial literacy will take you longer in life than just some of the street smarts you're going to learn. How to hustle. How to, do this to get, get to the next day, That's all I was ever taught, just to survive. I wasn't taught to survive the long haul, and that's what I like that you're learning, because you're teaching everybody now at a young age how to survive the long haul. You're 20-something years old now, by the time you're my age, you will be put together. Because you taught that to yourself. And I know you can share with the audience too the conversation you had about the life insurance policy with your you said with your auntie that you had.
Yes. So,
and the only reason I'm getting her to share this because her auntie is also older. And look how it sounds when the older generation is still not ready to believe what you're talking about, because they haven't been taught. So that's the only reason why, not to insult her, but to see where the different cultures are, the different generations, how we look at what we're trying to do versus trying to tell auntie what we're trying to do. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was talking to my aunt about getting some life insurance coverage. She has no coverage at all. So I was just talking to her, hey, auntie, listen, we need to get you some coverage. let's look and see what we can do. And she is older. So I asked her, well, I did a technique to figure out how much coverage would be best for her. And then I asked her what her budget was. Mm-hmm. And she told me around about $50 a month. Well, Auntie, what can I do for you for $50 a month? I can, Auntie, listen, I can't. Yeah. Not for $50. We cannot get you $800,000 worth of coverage. Yeah. For $50 a month. It's not gonna happen, Auntie. Now, somebody my age, yeah. Yes, it could be possible. It could be very much possible. Yeah. But no, it's not gonna work like that. Yeah. So, like I said, it all goes back to your age, how healthy you are, whatever the case may be, to determine how much coverage you're going to apply for, but also how much that coverage is going to cost. Okay. So that's why it is so extremely important. People think because we young, we 23 years old, we don't need no life insurance. Baby, we can go walk out the door and get hit by a car tomorrow.
Yeah. Or shot. You know,
or shot, or catch COVID.
Or catch COVID. Yes.
It's so crazy, the fact that we're talking about COVID, because let me say this while I'm thinking about it right now. So what a lot of insurance companies are doing, you know, people are getting the vaccine. I'm not knocking anybody for getting the vaccine, but people are getting the vaccine now. Well, what a lot of insurance companies are doing, a lot of job insurance companies are doing, they're saying, if you got the vaccine and something happens to you, and God forbid you pass away because you have the vaccine, we're not going to pay out your policy. Because that's experimental. People don't know that.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. They look at it as experimental, because you got to think about it. When they first came out with the vaccine, they didn't know if it was going to work for real.
Exactly.
That's why they have so many different types of vaccines. You got to get the booster shot. You got to get this round. You got to get that round. Then go get the booster shot after that. But people have it in their policies. It is experimental. So if you pass away because of something that happens with that vaccine, they don't have to pay out.
And it
don't matter.
Bad.
Mm-hmm. It don't matter how much coverage you got.
Yeah, imagine paying into that policy all this time. You didn't know COVID. Nobody knew COVID was going to come. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't like that. I'm a little mad about that one.
Yeah, it's so much stuff. Yeah. Like,
well, I'm glad I got we have my insurance policies way before they put a little stipulation in there. You know what I'm saying? But that's unacceptable to me. That's just my opinion, you know, but this is why you should be this is why you should get financially up to date. You need to know ins and outs of everything about your money, you know, about your insurance policies. You need to know those things. And going back to your auntie as well, because COVID is something that is happening, especially, you know, older women, older people, you know, especially if they have underlying conditions, you know, and that goes back to the different generations again, because we didn't read insurance policies. Remember, you only had an insurance policy just in case you died. You know, and let's talk about insurance policies, which I found something that I did not know about, and because I was not taught this, and nobody has ever left me anything. I was a housekeeper, so every time something happened in, you know, the families of my clients, I was always going to be aware of, because I'm cleaning their homes. So every time I would clean homes, and, you know, I would see one of my clients getting, well, we're not going to clean this week because we get the kitchen redone, or we're getting new carpet, or we're getting this, and it's because mama died. So mama left. I mean, I have one lady that I clean for. Mama left for a whole entire, I'm talking about palace. Okay. But the insurance just made her an instant millionaire.
Yes.
She got the house. The house is passed to her. But that policy was, you know, over $1 million and some change. And so this lady that I used to clean for came from a tiny 2-bedroom house that she owned. She was comfortable. She was single, so she was comfortable living in that house. And then all of a sudden, she was in this mansion looking thing, and she was gutting things and putting new carpet down. And it was her. And I had another lady, like, we had, you know, she was like, well, mama passed down the silver, and we don't do that. I don't know right now anybody that does that. Okay.
Right.
I see people say, I'm going to create a legacy, I'm going to create generational wealth, but I have never had anything passed down to me from an insurance policy. I'm not even
Right.
looking forward to it with my, my parent, my mom who's still living. I'm not looking forward to, an insurance policy. You know what I'm saying? Most of the times now we're only getting insurance policy to cover the funeral.
Right.
That is it. We're
And
not
that's
giving
where
out $1 million. We're not thinking, oh, with this person. Well, now we're a lot older, but we don't think like that. But guess what? My clients were 60 something years old, and mama died, and mama gave them $1 million, and including the house and silver and the chest. You know what I'm saying? And I would look at that stuff in astonishment because I was like, what are we doing wrong? And you know what we're doing wrong as African Americans? We're not teaching financial literacy.
right.
We're not teaching that. We're not teaching that we need to be doing things for our children. The things we do. Remember, we talked off camera about how our white counterparts will get a $2 million policy for little Johnny right now.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't fit to do that. We ain't fitting to spend that extra 200 to 300. Okay, we're not going to do that, and that's really sad because we don't have the financial literacy to realize that money helps with your children's school, your children's retirement, your children in general to live a lifestyle that they should be living. They shouldn't have to work. They shouldn't have to be burdened by all of the pyramid schemes of the Amazons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They should be able to say, you should live. You should go to work, get up every day, and say, my kids are going to be okay.
Right.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not harping on anybody, but this is one of the reasons why people are so depressed. This is why so many people commit suicide. This is why so many people are in debt, because we did not have the financial literacy that we needed. So I'm including myself in that. I still have a long way to go. And guess what? It's okay if we start at 45. God forbid I don't get COVID. Right now I am pretty healthy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that we're trying to say, and I didn't bring this to you to say, well, I'm putting you down, or I'm putting our race down. No, I'm not doing that, because
right.
You can't think every time somebody tells you the truth about something, it's putting your race down. No, I am going by my own entire lifestyle. I'm sorry, my mom was a good mom. I love her to death. She fed us. She put some clothes on us. She put a roof over our head, but she didn't teach us anything about finances.
Right.
I'm sorry, and so I do get hold to my son all the time. I do say to him, save your money, son. You don't have to buy a Yeezy or whatever, Jesus, whatever the shoe is. It makes me so sick because I don't like Kanye West. So I'm like, just don't give him no money anyway, because he's such a weirdo. But I'm like, dude, so got so much money, and y'all just put it in his pocket. It just makes me so sick. But save your money, because how do you need to be? I know I created that monster, and I'm kicking myself in the head by that. But put money in your bank account. Make sure your money works for you. Make sure that they have the investments. Talk a little bit before we wrap up about some of the other services besides the insurance that your company offers that they can take advantage of.
Okay, so there we also offer investments. I can't legally say anything about investments yet because I'm not licensed. I'll be licensed by the end of this month.
Okay.
But just a touch, what I can say is we have to know where to invest our money. Perfect. We put our money in bank accounts and expect for the money to grow at a 0.06 interest rate. Mm-hmm. What? How is the money going to grow there? A bank is literally like a wallet. You put your money in and you take it out when you need it. It's not going to grow. No matter if they have whatever kind of account they decide to give you, it's not going to grow. So we have to know where to invest our money. Once I'm licensed, we can actually do this again, so we can talk furthermore about some investments.
Girl, I got a podcast. We'll be
Oh,
talking throughout the entire year. So yes, you definitely will be on my cocktails and conversations. We'll definitely have you back. So you got time to get that license and then come back to us and tell us what we need to know.
perfect.
I think too, I would love to host a workshop, something like that. Maybe,
Yes.
financial literacy workshop where we could give out workbooks and if targeted to younger people.
Okay.
Maybe then we'll do one targeted to my age group for those who are interested. But I really would love to target the younger crowd, my son, kids like that, because, they need to know this,
Right.
and we have too many people starting right now people are sitting down right now that don't have that are depressed right now, don't see themselves healing, can't grow because financially they're being stuck. They're
Right.
stuck. And this is why I tell you all the time when I even say, to organize things, organize your finances too. Be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself that I did not make the decisions I needed to make as an entrepreneur, because it comes to bite you in the ass later
Mm-hmm.
on. Okay. It will come to bite you. And that's not for you to feel guilty about that. It's not for you to continue to say, well, I wasn't, taught that. I say that, but it's no longer her fault. Okay.
Right.
It's no longer my parents' fault for not teaching me what I should have already known at 45 years old. But I just wanted to bring the attention of the financial part of depression and anxiety, because worrying about how are you going to pay this and pay that, and how
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be in debt, or if your car is going to be taken, or if your home is going to be underwater. That can kill you. I have been
Right.
a person who worried all the time, and people like to say, well, you're married and your husband's this. There are married couples who suffer too
Right.
together.
And people
You
love to say, oh, money isn't the root of happiness or whatever the case may be. Listen, if you got all these bills that you need to be paid and you sad because you can't pay your bills, if somebody dropped $5,000 in your lap, you're gonna be happy as ever.
you happy. And
So money is the
money,
root of all happiness.
yes,
Money is
and it's
gonna
not
make
the
it
root of
happen.
evil, it's the way you use the money.
Exactly.
That's the root of all evil. See, once again, people taking it and twisting it the way they want to take it. But no, it was the use of money, not
Right.
money itself. It was the use of money and people who were greedy, So that's why you should, but God didn't say you couldn't have money. He just said the way you use your money. So if you're out here gambling, if you out here having shopping addictions like me, because I know what it's like to have it and then not have it again.
Right.
I know what it's like, because he's like, you know what, you did have it. You had it all. And then look what you did with it. Nothing. You didn't pay your tithes like you should have. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the root of all evil to have the money. It's the way you use your money.
Right.
And that's the only thing that I'm trying to get to, across to you all, that when you are healing and trying to grow, you're going to have to tackle finances. Finances is going to be something that you're going to have to say, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Where did I go wrong? How do I get back on track? That's all. That's just like with your healing. If you're traumatized, you're trying to heal from something that happened in your childhood, like myself, I had to start looking inward. Okay, now how do I get back on track?
Right.
Same thing with your finances. And it's okay to start now. I'm still learning right now. To this day, every day I learn something new. And when I talked to you the other night, I was very excited to learn from you. I even, I went back and told my husband, because my husband's all into that financial stuff. And I was talking to this little girl. This little girl was so knowledgeable about her little finance stuff. And my husband was like, that's good. He was like, you need to have her on. And I was like, I am. I said, because I know that, because I enjoyed our conversation. And like I said, I was so happy to see you so enthusiastic about finances, about financial literacy. And you are a younger generation, and that's what we need. So I thank you so much for gracing my little TransformU in 2022, because I thought it was a good conversation from a younger version of who we think who we should have been. I wish I was 24 years old, and I wish I knew all of the things you know now when I was 24 years old, because I could be sitting pretty right now. I had my cleaning business for 20 years, but it should have been a corporation. Now that I think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, why nobody didn't tell me I could franchise out? It's a lot of things that I didn't know at 24 years old. Nobody taught me. I didn't learn anything. So I'm glad that I was able to have you on here. And if you don't take anything away from this, just realize that it's never too late to start getting your finances in order.
Right.
It's never too late to start going out there to get those insurance policies. It's never too late. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. I think so many fall into that category that they're secretly ashamed that they are messy in their finances. No, they, like, again, stop looking at what social media tells you. Okay.
Right.
They are not showing you the days that they are behind the scenes. They might be sitting up in the beautiful cars, taking the flights. They doing all that. I'm working from home and I'm working in this beautiful place. Look at
and the crazy thing about social media is 9 times out of 10, people who are social media influencers, they have these professions that they work, but they're being paid from being social media influencers. So don't let their professions confuse you, because they're making money regardless.
That's right.
It don't matter. They can stop their business and they're still going to make money.
Exactly.
So social media has a very big impact when it comes to what people are thinking in any aspect of their life. So
that's right. And that's what I tell all of the women that I deal with, my clients, stop looking at social media. Stop that. That comparison will also kill. Okay. That comparison thief will come in and it will destroy you. It will destroy your confidence. It'll destroy your business, because now you're trying to model. And sometimes that just to go back to that, the influencers. I have so many. Somebody just asked a question the other day about coaches or whatever, and I chimed in, because what happens is they are out there making you think what you're doing is not good enough. As if they didn't start where you are now. Okay.
Exactly.
Nobody started from the top. Period. Okay. The people that you see, unless they are, people who died and they got some insurance money. No. They started off with 5 followers too. They started off with nobody knowing who they were either. Now that they're doing this lavish lifestyle, just always remember, I like to go, and guess what? They scrub the entire social media history of the old stuff. They don't. If you ever go back and look at somebody that you admire, that you look up to, go back and see. Because I have people that, and I have a lot of coaches that I follow that I am obsessed with. I have one lady I'm so obsessed with. I just love her. But it's because she's like me. She keeps it real. She's the owner of housekeeping business. She was poor. She was on welfare. That's who I follow. I don't follow the people that are sitting around telling me that what I'm doing because I went to sleep, that's lazy. Well, okay. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm making money while I'm asleep. You can stay up all night, and that's why you look older than me. But that's a whole other You know what I'm saying? You look older than me because you've been up all night trying to work, and I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that.
Exactly.
So people, you all have to realize that it's not too late to start your financial journey. It is not too late to undo some of the behaviors that you learned over the years, because I had to unlearn those behaviors too. I had to realize that you can't spend all your money and say, people spend money and say, oh, well, I get paid next week. They'll spend this money, I get paid next week. So you're already spending next week's paycheck before you even get it.
Right.
Not knowing that might be the week you get COVID. That might be the week you get the flu. That might be the week you got in a car accident. You've already spent all of your money, but you planned next week's check. I was that person. It wasn't even, I didn't have a check coming in, but it would be, I would go spend something and be like, well, I got a $500 house tomorrow. So I'll go spend the money I had today, but I knew I was going to make it back with the $500 house. But technically, I wasn't making it back. Technically, I was spending money and I was losing out. That's all it was. But in my mind, I was replacing what I spent. But technically, I wasn't doing that. financial literacy, and people don't understand that. But it's not too late, people. It is not too late. You can start. You can start again. So tell them where they can reach out to you in confidence if they want to, and say, "Hey, I want to learn more about insurance. I want to learn more about your company in case they want to jump on board to work from home." I know you usually share that a lot too about work from home.
Yes.
That company. So tell them where they, and I'm going to also have that stuff in the notes. If you'll give me your links, I'll send that to them as well. But just let them know, how can they reach you? Where can they find you on social media, or if they can DM you or email you, or how do they can find out more about your company?
Okay, so the best way to get in contact with me is through Facebook. And what I do is I just exchange numbers when people reach out to me. So definitely comment on my post, DM me, whichever you prefer. I check my messages every day, just to see who's in there. Somebody's probably in my spam trying to reach out to me. That's if you're interested in making some extra money starting off part-time. You want to come in straight full-time, let's go for it. If you just want to check out your finances and see where you can better yourself, then do not hesitate to reach out to me. We will exchange numbers, and then I'll give you a call with more information.
Thank you so much again. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm glad you decided to do this. I can't wait till you get all certified and fancy. Then you can start talking about investments, and I'll have her back on my cocktails and conversations, because I enjoyed talking to you, because you don't even act your age, you really don't. Like, you
I
really,
get that all the
you
time.
really do
I
not
got
act
that
your
since I
age.
was younger.
Because I think when we first met behind in our networking scene, I didn't know that you were just 20 something years old. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I said. Oh, this is just a little girl, because me and the other lady are a lot older, and so but I was so happy that you took the initiative to do that. You see what I'm saying? A lot of women, a lot of younger people they're so busy going straight to social media to be this influencer.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing stuff behind the scenes to let everybody know about what you're doing. So I'm glad that you had, that you wanted to do this for me. Again, I definitely will have you back on my podcast after you get, all certified and fancy. I can't wait for that. I am rooting for you for that, because you are very knowledgeable in your field, and I am so happy about that. So thank
Thank
you again
you.
for this. Thank you all, for those of you all who tuned in live. Let me know that you caught the replay. Make sure you share this, because maybe your children need to see this young lady as a role model. You have your button up to here, so of course it's not appealing to the eyes of the book or the gram. You know what I'm saying? Because you're financially learning things, and you don't have to have your clothes down to here to say that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if this is something that your children are interested in, maybe you already know, and you need your children to say, well, because they don't want to hear from us, but maybe they want to hear it from you. Because I'm gonna make sure my son, he probably didn't pop on already, that my son listens to this, and so that he'll understand too what he needs to do with his vending machines, maybe how he needs to contact you to do some more investments, with his vending machines and so forth. So definitely reach out to her, definitely reach out to me if you are trying to, get coached on your healing journey. It's going to start with your finances. It's going to start with you being honest and truthful with yourself. So there is no time like the present. It is okay if you're 45 and you want to start your financial journey. It's okay, people. Get out of that stigma of being shamed because you don't have the information that you have. Because guess what? We're giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. Okay. So thank you. Stay tuned for next Friday. And it looks like next Friday, I will not be able to do the third part. I'm going to do it further early in the week, because I will be flying to Texas on next Friday. So I'll be in the airport somewhere next Friday. So I'm going to move that series, the last part of the spiritual part of it, maybe to Wednesday. So y'all stay tuned for the last Wednesday coming instead of next Friday, and it probably will be at a different time. Until then, thank you guys. Y'all know I'm rooting for you. I'm doing everything I can to uplift you, motivate you, inspire you to heal, grow, and transform. Bye.